Here are the most recent deaths in the national news, as reported at Legacy.com at the end of April and the beginning of May 2026. For those of you who watch our videos every week, I want to let you know that my Legacy teammates will be helping out for a few weeks while I'm on a brief leave of absence. You'll still hear me later in the video when we share this week's memorial anniversaries. But first, here's my fellow editor, Steven Siegel, with this week's headlines.
Nedra Talley Ross, the last surviving original member of the 1960s pop sensation The Ronettes, died April 26, 2026, at her home in Virginia at the age of 80. Talley Ross was known for her backing vocals and harmonies on such classics as Be My Baby, Baby I Love You, and The Best Part of Breakin' Up. She was inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in 2007 as a member of the group. She is also being remembered for her solo career performing Christian music in the 1970s. NFL football great Monte Coleman died April 26, 2026, at the age of 68. Coleman was a three-time Super Bowl winner, whose 16 seasons with the Washington Redskins earned him an induction into the team's Ring of Fame. He is also being remembered as coach of the University of Arkansas at Pine Bluff, where he led the team to a Southwestern Athletic Conference championship in 2012. Former Major League Baseball player Ellie Rodríguez died April 23, 2026, at the age of 79. Rodríguez was a catcher who twice earned All-Star honors, once with the Kansas City Royals and again with the Milwaukee Brewers. He is also remembered for catching the fourth of Nolan Ryan's 7 no-hitters, and as the first ever Royal to be named to the All-Star team. Former Idaho Governor and United States Senator Dirk Kempthorne died April 24, 2026 in Boise, Idaho, after fighting colon cancer at the age of 74. Kempthorne was mayor of Boise before seeking a seat in the U.S. Senate, which he won in 1992. He left the Senate in 1999 when he was elected governor of Idaho, a position he held until 2006. He is also being remembered for his time as U.S. Secretary of the Interior under President George W. Bush. Paranormal author and media personality David Wilcock died April 20, 2026 by suicide at the age of 53. Wilcock was perhaps best known for his dozens of appearances on the popular History Channel show Ancient Aliens, as well as for productions about the paranormal by the media company Gaia. He is also being remembered for his numerous books on alternative cosmology, as well as for his YouTube channel Divine Cosmos. Acclaimed conductor and composer Michael Tilson Thomas died April 22, 2026, of brain cancer at his home in San Francisco. He was 81. He is best known for having been principal conductor of the London Symphony Orchestra and the music director of the San Francisco Symphony, as well as for working with artists such as Elvis Costello, George Gershwin, and Metallica. Thomas is also being remembered for his talents as a composer, including works such as From the Diary of Anne Frank and Poems of Emily Dickinson. Comic book writer, author, and television screenwriter Gerry Conway died in April 2026 at the age of 73. Conway was the co-creator of the popular anti-hero The Punisher in 1974. He also co-created the first version of the superheroine Ms. Marvel, who later became Captain Marvel. He is also remembered for contributing to the creation of important DC Comics characters like Power Girl, Jason Todd, Killer Croc, and Firestorm, as well as for his long tenure as the writer of Justice League of America. Televangelist and missionary Marilyn Hickey died April 25, 2026, at a care center in Denver, Colorado, after a fight with Alzheimer's disease at the age of 94. Hickey was the creator and host of Today with Marilyn and Sarah, which began airing in 1973. She is also the author of numerous books on faith and Christianity. She's being remembered for her missionary work, which took her around the world to preach the gospel in nearly 130 countries. Actress Mariclare Costello died April 17, 2026, in Brooklyn. She was 90. Costello was best known for her role as Rosemary Hunter Fordwick on the popular 1970s TV drama The Waltons, as well as for her work on Broadway. She's also being remembered for appearing on shows such as Murder, She Wrote, The Incredible Hulk, and Little House on the Prairie. Former U.S. Senator Donald Riegle died April 24, 2026, of cardiac arrest at his home in San Diego. He was 88. Riegle spent nearly 3 decades representing his home state of Michigan, first for 5 terms as a congressman, then for 3 more as a senator. He served under 7 different presidents. He's also being remembered as the co-author of the book, Oh Congress, which offered an insider's look at Congress in the 1970s. Author and UFO investigator Nick Pope died April 6, 2026, of esophageal cancer at his home in Tucson, Arizona. He was 60. Sometimes compared to Fox Mulder from The X-Files, Pope rose to prominence in the paranormal scene with books like Open Skies, Closed Minds, which recounts his years serving with Britain's Ministry of Defense. He's also being remembered as a regular on the popular History Channel show Ancient Aliens. Musician and songwriter Tony Wilson died April 24, 2026, at his home in Trinidad at the age of 89. Wilson was best known as the co-founder of the British soul band Hot Chocolate and one of the writers of their top 5 hit, You Sexy Thing. He's also being remembered for such songs as Love is Life, You Could Have Been a Lady, Emma, and Brother Louie. Best-selling author and Holocaust survivor Dr. Edith Eger died April 27, 2026, in San Diego. She was 98. In her youth, she was an Olympic hopeful gymnast in her native Hungary, but the Nazi occupation during World War II led to her imprisonment and torture at the Auschwitz concentration camp. She survived, moved to the United States, and went on to become a leading specialist in post-traumatic stress disorder, helping soldiers through their PTSD, and authoring such books as The Choice, Embrace the Possible. Former NFL player Josh Mauro died April 23, 2026, at the age of 35. No cause of death has been reported. Mauro spent 8 seasons in the NFL, 6 of them as a defensive end for the Arizona Cardinals. He's also being remembered for his time with the New York Giants, Oakland Raiders, and Jacksonville Jaguars, as well as for his college career at Stanford University. Country singer and songwriter David Allan Coe died April 29, 2026, at the age of 86. Coe was best known as the songwriter behind Johnny Paycheck's working-class anthem, Take This Job and Shove It, as well as Tanya Tucker's #1 hit, Would You Lay With Me in a Field of Stone. He's also being remembered for songs like Mona Lisa Lost Her Smile, The Ride, You Never Even Called Me By Name, and She Used to Love Me a Lot. Before we continue with the celebrity anniversaries, let me just say that some of the most remarkable obituaries we saw this week at Legacy weren't for celebrities, but for everyday people like you and me. People like this Texas librarian, who brought boundless energy to her students, her family, and the hometown where she served 24 years on city council. This devoted pediatrician, who grew up in the Bronx and lived an American journey that took him to Maryland, South Carolina, and Southern California. And this beloved father and U.S. Army veteran, who made it his mission to live every day with gratitude and purpose after a heart transplant gave him 16 more precious years. At Legacy.com, any family can publish an obituary in honor of a loved one's memory, online and in local newspapers everywhere. Just visit Legacy.com and select your local community.
In addition to featuring current deaths in the news, Legacy.com also honors the lives and legacies of notable people who died in the past. Here are some of this week's anniversaries. 5 years ago this week, actress Olympia Dukakis died at the age of 89. She was already in her 50s when she became an overnight film sensation with her Oscar-winning portrayal of Cher's Italian-American mother in the 1987 romantic comedy Moonstruck. 15 years ago this week, actor Jackie Cooper died at the age of 88. One of the most celebrated child stars of Hollywood's golden age, he was Oscar-nominated at just 9 years old, and later enjoyed a long career as a TV director and as Perry White in the Superman films. 17 years ago this week, comedian Dom DeLuise died at the age of 75. A beloved entertainer for more than 4 decades, he starred in such comedy classics as Blazing Saddles and The Cannonball Run, while also becoming a beloved voice actor and celebrated cookbook author. 27 years ago this week, actress Dana Plato died at the age of 34. Best known for her role as Kimberly Drummond on the NBC sitcom Different Strokes, she was one of the most recognizable young faces on American television during the late 70s and 80s. Pop singer Leslie Gore was born 80 years ago this week. She was a teenager when she burst onto the 1960s music scene with the #1 hit It's My Party, followed quickly by Judy's Turn to Cry, She's a Fool, and the anthem You Don't Own Me. She died in 2015 at the age of 68. Actress Ann B. Davis was born 100 years ago this week. She became America's favorite housekeeper when she starred as Alice in the hit sitcom The Brady Bunch in the 1960s and 70s. She died in 2014 at the age of 88.
Every week in the United States, flags are lowered to half-staff to honor the lives of Americans whose communities are mourning their loss. Here are the most recent half-staff memorial flag honors. Flags in North Dakota have been lowered in honor and remembrance of Georgia's U.S. Representative David Scott. Flags in Oklahoma have been lowered in honor of LaFleur County Deputy Thomas Walker LeMay, who died in the line of service. Flags in California have been lowered in honor of Workers' Memorial Day, to acknowledge, remember, and honor all those who lost their lives or were injured on the job. Flags in New York have been lowered in honor of New York State Department of Environmental Conservation police officer Ronald J. Bozzella, who died from an illness related to his service following the terrorist attacks of September 11, 2001. Flags in Idaho have been lowered in honor of former Governor Dirk Kempthorne. Flags in Tennessee have been lowered in memory of State Representative G.A. Hardaway. Flags in Alabama have been lowered in honor of Officer Dallas Hinton of the Thomasville Police Department, who died in the line of duty. Flags in Ohio have been lowered in honor of former state senator James Carnes. Flags across the nation may be lowered in honor of National Fallen Firefighters Memorial Weekend.
You can read more about the lives of the people featured in this video on Legacy.com. Follow Legacy.com on Instagram and Facebook, and subscribe to our channel on YouTube to stay up to date on national news deaths.